G'day, Grant Schofield here. Bit of an update, a COVID type update. It's more of a reflection than an update actually of where we're at as a society, as a planet, as a species. All things worth considering. A species that shares the planet with a lot of other biology going on. There's lots we'd like to put back in the box and make go away, frankly, and that's what we've struggled with, I think. We go back 6 weeks, there was this notice that actually this has got away from just China and it was everywhere else in the world, and we're starting to see widespread deaths in Italy, and then the now famous or infamous, I guess, modelling from Imperial College London, the big curves of death, and would flatten that curve down, which seemed fair enough at the time, still does really, that we don't want people dying en masse unnecessarily, of course. And so here in New Zealand and Australia, probably because of geographic isolation more than anything else, sort of geographic good luck, we didn't have so many cases and we had longer to react because it wasn't until the end of February that really started to happen, and then through into March. And so the word unprecedented started to get used, and we all had a bit of a laugh at that. And then we had these levels, at least in New Zealand, and we were all locked down, and it was not different than a third of the world really that was doing that. That you weren't getting beaten with a baton like you were in India or South Africa, and there wasn't riots breaking out or anything like that. So we were doing it safely, and there was sort of general compliance and a general goodwill. There was very little scientific discussion. Started to concern me a bit. I started with another group, got together, and we started to look more closely at the data, and that progressed into saying, hey, the government at this point had decided that we might go for an elimination or eradication or defeat strategy. All three words we used commonly in briefings. Rather than just flattening the curve, we're actually going to get rid of the curve altogether. It wouldn't exist, and we'd wait for a vaccine. Still sort of talking about that, I guess. We put our heads up and probably got them mostly shot off, frankly. Surprise to me. Well, it probably wasn't a surprise from what percent of nutrition over the last couple of decades, but scientific discussion was first of all silenced by authority, and then by quite a bit of abuse, really. I haven't really seen anything like that, and that took a bit of getting used to, but I guess that opened the door to actually some more scientific debate, so I still think that's sorely needed. And we're emerging today into a slightly different world. There's a lot of people back at work, albeit with a lot of caveats on it. People still working from home, schools and universities still out, although it was the first day back of university for me today, teaching my students, but online, and that the semester won't reappear in its normal way, at least this semester. So there's a lot of interesting observations, I think, and questions. Should we still be trying to eliminate an endemic virus? Who knew we'd learn so much about viruses and pandemics and that sort of thing? Is it going to be here to stay in the world, or are we somehow going to put it back in its box and it'll disappear? That's a question still be answered. Well, we don't know the answer in New Zealand now. I was pretty confident we had no chance. I'm still confident that there's very little chance of that because of the number of asymptomatic cases, and that we can't keep our borders closed forever. And even today, we're still pinning our hopes on a vaccine, which seems a distant thing to be putting your country on hold for. When we raised our Plan B ideas and saying, hey, there's possibly more harm than good, and we need to balance those deaths here versus those deaths here, all of a sudden, somehow that's also become a political tightrope where if you're on the left, it's COVID lives no matter what. If you're on the right, it's the economy no matter what. And that was never our intention in doing that sort of discussion. It was always lives versus lives, and that's just the daily business of public health. If you're in it, that's what you do. How much can we get for this nutrition program? How much can we spend on this exercise program? What if we stop people smoking? What if we do hip replacements? That's public health. Money goes here, there, and there's costs and benefits. People miss out. People don't miss out. And we don't have that perfect system. So that was always the discussion, but it has become left versus right. I've become completely dismayed at social media. I quite enjoy social media. I like getting on Facebook and Twitter, and it's a good way to keep up with all sorts of things and a range of views. But the extreme range of views and the abuse in the comment sections has been astonishing even to me, who's seen a fair bit of that over the years. So that's something, quite something. I'm almost frightened to go back on it. I'm too frightened to go on Twitter, frankly, but I still do Facebook a bit. Today I found myself strangely, and this is, I don't know if people have been doing this, and you got to wonder if it's just filtering what you want to hear. As I started to see what I'm regarding as fake news, stuff not based on science, so I've started unfollowing and unfriending and removing, having a 30-day break from so-and-so or something. Have you done that? Do you do that? And is there any use to that? I don't know what the answer to that is. I'd love to hear what you think about this idea of it's already manipulated, so manipulating it further just to see the things that you like and you want to see versus what the actual truth is something. Mainstream media in this country, I think, has become sadly devoid of asking the hard questions, which in my mind is the job of the media, especially of the government of the time. Um, and we've become into a sort of war mode of support no matter what. Is it just me, or do you sit at some of those meeting and briefings? Can you just ask that bloody question? Come on, for God's sake, ask them. Ask them about that data or these data or this study or that study, or just ask them about some of the things like, why haven't we done any serology testing? We still need to do that, and I keep banging on about that. So that's become a thing, hasn't it? Where do we go from here? Well, surprisingly today, most New Zealand, well, not most, but many New Zealanders decided where they went from here was on a Macca's run or a KFC run. Not surprising, really, I guess. Was that you? Did you get what you wanted? That's interesting that we would have been missing that so much. I'm sure you didn't feel that awesome after it, or did you? Who knows? That's still on the table, isn't it? Metabolic health. Why that's not a thing. It's still the leading cause of ill health in this country. And our first day out of being safe, we go and add to the burden of that. Will metabolic health become a thing because it's still protective from infection and viral health? And in fact, I just did a lecture for my third year lifestyle nutrition on infectious disease. I've brought that in because I think there is a lifestyle component to at least the, well, actually your chances of getting rid of something and or being fatal are all related to those factors. So are they in the genre now? I guess so. So a lot of questions. I don't really know where we're going from here, actually. When I have put the news on, I've seen a lot of, particularly charities and sports and those sorts of things that rely on a lot of public funding and goodwill, putting their hands up and go, hey, we're in trouble. Will we recover? Of course we'll recover. Will we be the same place? Almost certainly not. Will we be a better place? Don't know. Hope so. Really, really hope so. And I hope that we're prepared for these sorts of things in the future as well, because I think that's the thing I've been thinking about the most today is we somehow think of ourselves as being the victorious piece of biology on this planet. And you just have to have a look around you. Beautiful place, beautiful planet. We're not the only organisms out here, and they'll try their hardest to evolve and survive and do those sorts of things as well. Granted, a virus isn't technically actually alive. It's a piece of RNA that inserts itself into you. But they have been necessary for evolution and evolutionary history and that sort of thing. So it's all part of it. All right, a lot of questions, a bit of rambling. Catch you later.